Hello. Today, lists in Python. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Okay, so lists in Python represents ordered sequences of values. Nice. So you can put integers in the list, into the list. You can put strings into the list. You can even make lists of lists. I guess this is like construct. And no, this is like the structure or struct in MATLAB. A list, so let's look at how you add the items. You put comma after each list item. You can add lists into the list using brackets, and the list again, the enclosing structure is our brackets, not curly brackets, for example, or parentheses. A list can contain a mix of different types of variables also. So this is not a matrix. This is a struct. This is a list. This is different. My favorite things, an integer, a string, and a function. Indexing. You can access individual list elements with square brackets because the list starts with a bracket. Okay. Which planet is closest to the sun? Python uses zero-based indexing. So in MATLAB, it was from 1 to blah to infinity. In Python, it's from 0. What's the next closest planet? So planets here. Venus. Planets. Oh, this is interesting. Planets elements at the end of the list can be accessed with negative numbers starting from -1. So -1 gives you the last element. Okay, -1 gives you the last element. Slicing. What are the first 3 planets? We can answer this question using slicing. So, okay, this always confuses me. I'm like, I have like some crumb I had before starting studying Python, crumbs of knowledge about Python. Like I knew that it's the list or indexing was zero-based, but this always confused me. Like 0 is like the first element and 1 is the second, and then 2 should be the third element, but here you put 0 then 3. Then I guess, okay, planets 0 to 3 is our way of asking the elements of planets starting from index 0 and continuing up to, but not including index 3. So in MATLAB, if you do, it starts with 1, indexing starts with 1. And if you put 1, semicolon 3, it will give you first, second, and third elements. So this is why it's confusing for me. So in Python, it gives you from 0, so 1. So if you put 0, semicolon 3, it means start from 0, start from first element, and give me the elements until the third element, until the fourth element. So it will give you 1, first, second, and third elements in the list. Okay, it will probably take some time for me to get used to this. I'll make some mistakes. But you know, this is how you learn. The starting and ending indices are both optional. If I leave out the start index, it's assumed to be 0. Nice. So it's like an, I guess this is not, maybe MATLAB has this also, but okay. Okay. So I will, starting from third one, or the fourth one, sorry. Why did you do this? This is confusing. It will give you, I mean, why did you use zero-based index? It will give you all the elements. So in MATLAB, you use, if you want to do the same operation, you would say planets, parentheses, and in the parentheses, you would put second, or you would put four semicolon and it would give you from fourth element to all the elements to the last one. The expression above means give me all planets from index 3 onward. Okay. We can also use negative indices when slicing. 1 to the -1. So from first indexing will be the second element to the last. Okay. -3 to the end. So -1, -2, -3. So start from, give me elements starting from the third from the last to the last one. Third from the last onward. Okay, changing lists. Lists are mutable, meaning they can be modified in place. Nice, nice, nice. One way to modify a list is to assign to an index or slice expression. For example, let's say we want to rename Mars planet 3, but this means planets. So third index, so fourth element of planets will be assigned to Malacandra. Nice. That's quite a mouthful. Let's compensate by shortening the name of the first 3 planets. So planet 0, so from index 1 to index 0 to index 3. So it means first to the third element, change the mur, be, ur. Print planets from 0 to the fourth index. So from first to the fourth, no, first to the fifth. First, no, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 0 to the fourth element. Mercury is changing back to the original. So this is supposed to be here. Yeah, print function prints this one here. Okay. List functions. Python has several useful functions for working with lists. Length will give you the number of elements. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Sorted sorts it in alphabetical order. Nice. Sum does what you might expect, so it sums them up. We have previously used the min and max to get the minimum or maximum of several arguments. So max primes gives you the max of the prime. I'm wondering if there's there's probably a function like find in MATLAB, and then you find elements satisfying some condition, and it gives you the index number of those elements. Interlude. Objects. I've used the term object a lot so far. Yes, you did. You may have even read that everything in Python is an object. What does that mean? Tell me. In short, objects carry some things around with them. Um, so it's like boom boom. It's like a bus. You get into it, it carries you around. You access, so we can say objects in Python are like automobiles, buses, planets, oh no, sorry, planes, trains. You access that stuff using Python's dot syntax. What is it? For example, numbers in Python carry around an associated variable called imag, representing their imaginary part. You'll probably never need to use this unless you're doing some very weird math. Are you talking about complex numbers? Yes, he does. X equals 12. X is a real number, so its imaginary part is 0. Yes, it is. And this one imaginary part is 3. And the way you write this is 12 plus 3j. It's nice that Python recognizes it. This is because this is just, if I put this in MATLAB, it would be C plus 12, C equals 12 plus 3j. It wouldn't accept, I guess, because you can't sum an integer with a, this is really weird. You couldn't even write this, I guess, because you needed an asterisk to indicate that it's a multiplication. Okay, the things an object carries around can also include functions. A function attached to an object is called a method. Non-function things attached to an object, such as imag, are called attributes. For example, numbers have a method called bit length. Again, we access it using dot syntax. X dot bit length function int bit length. To actually call it, we add parentheses. X dot bit length gives you 4. So X is 12 and the bit length of X is 4. X is an object here. A function attached to an object is called a method. So this is a method then, because this is a function attached to an object. To attach, we use the dot syntax, x dot bit length. And so this imag is an attribute. Oh, okay. No, not imag. Imag is a non-function thing. But what it is then, it's like, okay, I think I just have to absorb this as a new information, because in my mind, I always compare this with MATLAB, and some things are the things either I don't know or I don't think that they exist in MATLAB. So it can be confusing if I compare the Python with MATLAB all the time. So I just absorb it. So what I have learned so far about objects are like automobiles. They carry variables around, you can attach an non-function which still gives you, which gives you an information about an object. And when you attach that non-function to an object with a dot in between the two, so like x dot emag or imag, it will give you the imaginary part of the x. And this attached structure is called attribute. Now, if you attach a function which gets an input and processes it, and then spits out a result. If you attach that function with a dot to an object, which is in this case x, then it is called a method. And you always use a method with a parentheses at the end for it to print values into the screen, Okay, you have actually been calling methods already if you have been doing the exercises in the exercise notebook question 1, question 2, and question 3, etc. Are all objects which have methods called check, hint, and solution. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. In the same way that we can pass functions to the help function, help max will give you information already in Python's library about max function. Help x bit length. With methods as well. And it automatically takes out the object part. Okay. The examples above were utterly obscure. Yes. None of the types of objects we have looked at so far have attributes or methods you're likely ever to use. But it turns out that sorry, lists have several methods which you will use all the same time. What they are: list methods. List.append modifies a list by adding an item to the end. Nice. I like this. Planets.append in parentheses syntax string Pluto. So it will add the Pluto at the end of the planets list. So the number of elements will increase to 9. Why does the cell above have no output? Because, let's check the documentation by calling planets.append. Append is a method carried around by all objects of type list, not just planets. So we also could have called help list append. Okay. However, if we try to call help append, Python will complain that no variable exists called append. The append name only exists within lists. This is interesting. This is interesting. It doesn't exist as a standalone name like built-in functions such as max or len. Okay. The none part is telling us that list.append doesn't return anything. Are you talking about this part here? I guess so. But if we check the value of planets, we can see that the method called modified the values of planets. List.pop removes and returns the last element of a list. Pop. Okay. Oh, okay. Finding the index of an element. Good, good, good. Um, to avoid unpleasant surprises like um, calling or trying to find the index of an element, but that element doesn't exist in the list, we can use the in operator to determine whether a list contains a particular value. Earth in planets. True. Calbefrakis in planets. False. There are a few more interesting list methods we haven't covered. If you want to learn about all the methods and attributes attached to a particular object, we can call help on the object itself. Oh, this is wonderful. This is really good. For example, help planets will tell us about all the list methods. Whoa. Whoa. Yeah. Hmm. So add self and a value. To all the elements, right? Interesting. What if there are some strings? Del item, delete self, key, return, ec equals self value, self equals value. So is this for all values? I guess. Return. Oh no, this is only the values that are equal to self, value. So let's say you have a list of numbers and you want to see the ones that are equal to 5. So you put self dot eq in parentheses. I guess you put let me see, let's say 5. Then it will give you, so it will give you indices of those elements. Okay, apparently there are a lot. Click the output button to see the full help. Tuples are almost exactly the same as lists. They differ in just two ways. The syntax for creating them uses parentheses instead of square brackets. I realized that. Or without parentheses. They cannot be modified. Oh, okay. Mm, 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 mm. Interesting. Although you use parentheses to create a list, you search or you call an element of the list by you using square brackets. Now this makes sense. X dot as integer ratio. This is a method. These multiple return values can be individually assigned as follows. You put one, comma, another object, and you assign them. So it assigns in order. Okay. Okay. Yeah, this is commonly used in many coding languages. Nice. So the next tomorrow, hopefully. So what I did, because okay, I'm just gonna stop here, but you know, this is a log and this is how I learn, you know, that's my journey. What I did after, so I started this last week, right? And I missed to study on Friday, Saturday, or Saturday, Sunday, Monday, some like 3 days or something I missed. I don't want this to happen. I want to be consistent. This is why I take logs, but to like increase or to excite the reward region in my brain, I have a whiteboard in the living room. I put a big calendar of month May, and what I do is every time I study and upload the video, I put a tick into the calendar for that day. So today is May 8th. So after finishing this, I'll go inside and put a tick. And at the end of the month, I'll have all the dates ticked, hopefully. So it is satisfying. I don't know why, but it is. So I'm using this now, and I am using this for multiple things that I want to do or I want to learn, achieve. So like for example, I am conducting experiments. So I will publish an article. So if you wait to write, you know, when you have everything ready, it's never gonna happen. So to be consistent with writing, I'll do the same thing. I'll sit down, write 15 minutes to half an hour every day, and whenever I do this, I'll put a tick in my calendar. So you can use this. It works. It works. Okay, okay. I'll start this tomorrow, hopefully. And until then, take care. Again, who watches this, I don't know. If it helps you, I'm more than happy, because I was doing this just for selfish reasons, just to stay on track, you know, to be accountable to myself. But if it helps anyone, that's awesome. Bye. Have a great weekend.